Since our ancestors can remember, we have been part of the fight, protecting space within a vast cosmic bubble, defending against inorganic creatures that only know to consume, devour, and spread even more. Our claws, wings, tentacles, fangs, scales, and countless other natural weapons were put to use against these relentless beings. While we battled, we kept watch. We watched for the emerging races, the budding intelligences, and cunning predators. We nurtured each one, showing them how to wield their natural weapons. And when they were ready, we brought them to the front lines to join the fight. But as it always is with nature, evolution has its dead ends. So when we found these furry creatures swinging from trees and landing in the plains of their own world, we were saddened but not disappointed. Such is the way of the universe. I was tasked with observing their progress and reporting their inevitable demise. So I watched as the tree-dwelling creatures picked up rocks to throw at their faster-clawed brethren. They used broken branches and shards of bone to hunt their horned kin, employing determination and cunning to take down the strongest of the herd. They grew strong on the flesh of their betters. Soon they left the trees and began to hunt in earnest. Through many lives, my memory moved from body to body. I watched as they simply chased their prey, wearing them down until the brave bull lay down to die. The noble mammoth gasped and begged, and even the intelligent wolf, master of the frozen wastes, succumbed to the tall hunters from the trees. Over time, their fur thinned. Nature did not favor this creature, so they killed those with thick fur and wore it in triumph. Then nature gave them a trial of water, heating the ice and drowning many. But again, the tall hunters devised a solution. They did not adapt to live among the fish. Instead, they cut down their former homes and tamed the water, letting the trees bear their weight. And so I watched as they settled. Huts became houses. Beasts of the wild became cattle. Poison became medicine. Every facet of nature was dismantled and rebuilt to serve the humans, as they called themselves. And when nature ran out of challenges, they gave themselves the greatest challenge, each other. Spears became arrows. Stones became hammers and swords. Hide became metal. They tore from the earth what nature could not provide. Metal became their hide and claws. Out of sheer curiosity, I watched as they fought in greater numbers, building better claws instead of evolving them. A spark of worry nestled itself in my subconscious. The sword turned into the gun. Houses and wooden walls became stone castles and cities. Cities spawned empires, and empires evolved. The gun evolved as well, surpassing the bow, and the sword could not match it. It brought death to whoever met it. Soon the gun could shoot faster, farther, with more accuracy than the best evolved weapons we had. Spines and scales were no match for a gun big enough, and the humans built them bigger and better. To counter this, they began protecting themselves. Stone became sand to better absorb the shock of the bullet. Battles in the plains became long lines of soldiers hoping to outgun their opponents. Empires pushed against each other, striving to become the alpha, and then it happened. The key weapon of the inorganics was recreated on the struggling world. As one empire in the north fell, another in the south was subjected to this weapon. 2 cities fell, and the empire surrendered in mercy. The spark flared bright, and I sent for another observer. With 2 of us watching, the wounds of war healed. Small conflicts broke out and were snuffed. The Alpha Empire ruled supreme. The soldiers had fabrics and materials that could stop the gun. Beasts of metal with the power of armies roamed through battle, delivering order wherever they went. The humans kept developing. The weapon was perfected. The power increased, and soon they launched themselves into space, celebrating their success as they walked across my shell. They soon returned and all went quiet for years. Their machines became refined, sleek, and powerful like the beasts that roamed the plains. Humans built new armor for themselves to match their metal slaves. A visit to their nearby planet, inhospitable to life, was accomplished, and then the unexpected happened. Life flourished, they blossomed out, and soon life surrounded my shell, a city on my surface. Then unexpectedly, war began anew. Soldiers clad in metal fought. The red planet raged against the blue, and neither could win. I consulted my fellow observer, and we agreed to wait. Would they finally perish? They didn't. Metal reigned supreme. Soldiers who would have fallen before the tank now marched in order, unflinching before devastating shell after shell. I looked deeper and found out why. They had another layer of defense, invisible to my normal senses. They had created a shield of energy, a barrier that defied the natural order, protecting them from even the fiercest attacks. As I watched, fascinated and slightly unnerved, these humans continued their relentless march of progress. The war between the red and blue planets raged on, but it was different now. It was a war of attrition, a testing ground for new technologies and strategies. Metal soldiers clashed, energy shields flared, and the sky was filled with the roar of engines and the hum of laser fire. But it wasn't just the soldiers who adapted. The humans themselves changed. They integrated with their machines, becoming something more than organic, something that straddled the line between flesh and metal. They enhanced their bodies, their minds, and their capabilities, creating a new breed of warriors who could think and react faster than any human before them. The spark of worry in my subconscious flared into a full-blown fire. These humans were no longer just another race struggling to survive. They were becoming a force that could challenge even the most ancient and powerful beings in the universe. Their advancements didn't stop at warfare. They began to explore the stars, their curiosity and ambition driving them to seek out new worlds and new challenges. They built massive ships, cities in space, and colonies on distant planets. They tamed the void, bending it to their will just as they had tamed the wilds of their homeworld. Their technology grew more sophisticated, more advanced. They developed faster than light travel, allowing them to traverse the galaxy in the blink of an eye. They created artificial intelligences, beings of pure logic and reason, to assist them in their endeavors. These AIs became their partners, their advisors, and sometimes even their rulers. And as they spread out into the galaxy, they encountered other races. Some were primitive and easily subdued. Others were advanced and posed a real challenge. But the humans adapted, as they always had. They formed alliances, made enemies, and sometimes even went to war. But through it all, they never stopped pushing forward, never stopped striving for more. I watched all of this with a mixture of awe and trepidation. The humans were no longer just a species to be observed. They were a force to be reckoned with. They had become a pivotal player in the cosmic game, their influence spreading far and wide. As their technology continued to advance, they began to unlock the secrets of the universe itself. They discovered the mysteries of dark matter and dark energy, harnessing these forces to power their ships and weapons. They learned to manipulate time and space, bending the very fabric of reality to their will. And then they did the unthinkable. They found a way to transcend their physical forms, to upload their consciousnesses into machines, becoming beings of pure thought and energy. They shed their mortal shells, becoming something new, something greater. These post-human entities, no longer bound by the limitations of flesh and blood, spread out into the universe like a wildfire. They explored dimensions beyond the physical, delving into realms of existence that had been the stuff of myths and legends. They became the guardians of the galaxy, defenders of life against the ever-present threat of the inorganic creatures. Their advanced technology and unparalleled knowledge made them formidable opponents, and the inorganic menace began to retreat, pushed back by the relentless advance of the post-humans. And so I watched. I watched as the humans, once mere tree-dwelling creatures, became the saviors of the galaxy. Their journey from primitive hunters to cosmic guardians was a testament to their indomitable spirit and unyielding determination. In the end, they had not only survived, they had thrived. They had become something greater than anyone could have imagined. And as I continued to observe their progress, I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and admiration for these incredible beings who had defied the odds and changed the course of the universe.